Welcome in this short video about the film art, the film market which took place in Hong Kong this week. I did a bit of footage there, and so I thought I would do some kind of a short audio commentary about what was happening there so that you have an idea. Here we have the booth of Maya. So Maya, one of the big producers in Hong Kong, they have released recently the Where the Wind Blows, the film with Aaron Kwok and Tony Leung, which we can see the poster on the right, on the left now. A film, unfortunately, which is quite disappointing, which tries to do too many things at the same time and which fails. Here we have some of the other projects that they are trying to finance and produce. I must confess I have absolutely no information about them, so I can only show you the posters there. Most likely they are co-productions with China. It is the dominating business model now, and Maya, being a fairly big company, is obviously doing this kind of things. Here we have iForces, a project for Andy Lau, so that should be a fairly big production. We also have in the background the White Storm 3, so a continuation of the franchise originally initiated by Benny Chan, which is now helmed by Herman Yeo. So it should be a big action film. Another movie with Andy Lau and also with Gordon Lam, which could be interesting. I Did It My Way, directed by Jason Kwan, a former DOP. We get back here on the White Storm 3, so that will be a sequel only in name, as it is often the case with Hong Kong films. But an interesting cast, especially the presence of Lau Ching-wan, who has been the most consistent and most interesting actor recently. Louis Koo and Aaron Kwok, I think, are a bit more uneven. Here we have the booth of the Kowloon World City, so that's the new film by Soi Chung, which will take place, it seems, in the Kowloon, the famous Kowloon World City. So they really tried to do something interesting here by recreating a piece of the Kowloon World City. It was without a doubt the most popular booth of the whole film art. I mean, everybody was getting in, everybody were taking pictures. It's a nice gimmick, I must say. The Kowloon World City is a very interesting place. It's fascinating, so I really advise you to check if you are not aware of what it is. The film will most likely be shot in studio in Guangzhou. In Guangzhou they have a studio in which they have reconstructed the Kowloon World City, so most likely it's going to be shot there. So we will see the result. Here we have One Cool Production, so that's the company from Louis Koo. Louis Koo is the most influential, the most successful actor nowadays. And here we have a trailer of a film which is a bit superhero, a bit comedy, I guess, at the same time. Well, I don't really know much about it, so I will just shut up right now and let you see the trailer and make your own opinion based on that. On another booth, a company called Sublime, they had another trailer of a movie about vampire, Western vampire. I think we didn't see any Western vampire in Hong Kong production since Get the Hell Out of Here, a fairly interesting comedy which was commenting about the situation in Hong Kong, and we had Twins Effect by Dante Lam before that. I'm a bit wondering how they managed to make it here, because actually vampires are supposed to be forbidden by the mainland censorship. So is this production a pure Hong Kong film, or did they manage to find ways to get the approval of the censorship in order to have this kind of vampire? I don't know. I do not have the answer. But we will see. Hopefully that will be a film which will really go full-fledged vampire and won't try to find some ways to avoid this subject. Even if I'm not sure Hong Kong is really a good place to do a vampire movie, to be honest. It's the least gothic place you can find in the world. Here we have the booth of Emperor Motion Pictures, so another very big company. They are producing custom frontline. We see the posters on the side here with Jackie Chan and Nicolas Tse, a big action film directed by Hermanio, which I think is trying to be a bit like Raging Fire, this kind of modern action film with Nick Tse, who is also handling the action. That part is a bit surprising. We'll see what it goes. Rob and Roll, it's a comedy about three guys who try to rob a bank, I think, or a shop, I don't remember. I had the chance to discuss with the director. He showed me the trailer. I think the intention is really good, but he had to make some compromise, and so I'm not sure the result will be up to his original vision. Here we have another film about firemen by Oxid Peng. I don't really like Oxid Peng, so I have no hope. I'm not a big fan of firemen film either, so yeah. Of course, Japanese animation is always very popular, and so they have a specific booth on the Hong Kong Film Art. Here, the booth of the South Korean productions. It was actually very big, this booth, much bigger than what I remember of the previous years. I guess it reflects how Korea has become one of the most important center of productions for films nowadays. But in general, I have to say that it is the Chinese booth, the mainland Chinese booth, which were really dominating. Here we have Ichi, who are producer of many Chinese DTV. Youku is another very active production company when it comes to this kind of Chinese DTV. You can check my video about Chinese DTV if you want to know more about it. But yeah, so the Chinese company were really everywhere. They had a really huge booth, and it shows that they are the one dominating the market nowadays. It's not really a surprise, but if you have seen the evolution of film art, you can see Hong Kong slowly losing its ground. Here we have a few pictures of Wandering Earth 2. I actually like the first Wandering Earth. I thought the Wandering Earth 2 was less good. A bit more confusing and a bit more direct in its message, propagandist message, but there are still some very nice science fiction image there and there, so it's still worth a look, in my opinion, if you are interested into science fiction. Here another project of a Monkey King film. Monkey King films are still very popular, and they are safe also from a censorship point of view. Sorry here for the lack of focus. I should have done better. Another Chinese booth with the Battle of Lake Changjin number 1 and 2. I already discussed a little bit Battle of Lake Changjin 2 in my video about all 2022. There are some other Chinese films on display here, but I must confess I know nothing of them, so you will just have to check the posters in order to make your own opinion there. Another dose of direct-to-video, Chinese direct-to-video. I think I saw the Ip Man film. If that's the one I'm thinking of, it was actually pretty crappy, as it is the case of most of those Ip Man copycat made in China. On the left here we have a movie, I don't remember the title, but it's with Fan Xiu Wong, and it's actually quite distant. So if you really want to watch this kind of Chinese DTV, this one is okay. The others, I don't really know them. But you have to admit that they are pretty good at making this kind of catchy artwork, and so on that aspect, they really are the evolution of this video club spirit. Here you have Mutant Ghost War Girl in the background, which is another movie I talk about in my old 2022 video. I have watched too many of those Chinese DTV when I was preparing for my video, so I will probably not watch any of those. I cannot stand them anymore. Most of them are crappy, unfortunately, even if there are a few gems there and there. One of the beauty of the film art is that you are able to meet quite a few directors, actors, people from the industry, and you also have the opportunity to see many young and pretty girls. So here I thought you would like to see how it is there when you are checking. So probably for an event which I have no idea what it was. And now I'm just walking around checking the different booths. Here it's the other side of the Kowloon Wall City booth. You have different people, of course, discussing, selling their product. Once again, the custom front line here, one of the big production which should be released this year, 2023. They put a lot of their posters on the Kowloon Wall City booth in order to make it active and attractive, so it's pretty interesting. We will see what the result will be. Here a triad film. Once again, I have no information about that, so we will see. We only have the poster so far. In the background on the screen you had the trailer of Detective vs. Sloth, directed by Wai-Kar-Fai. I already talked about it in my old 2022 video. I didn't really like the film, so I'm not really going to advise you to watch it, but there is a great performance by Lo Ching-wan in the film. At least that's a good point, that's the positive. And we will see the other booth in the background when I'm going to move the camera, which should happen very soon now. So all in all, I can say that business is coming back. That was the first physical edition of Film Art since 2020 or 2019. I can't remember exactly. They did some virtual edition, but I mean it's never exactly the same. So you could see that people were happy it was back. People were hopeful, and the market seems to, and people want to watch film, to go back in theaters. So there are a lot of hopes. There are new projects being shown, but as it has been shown by the fact that so many booths are now a Chinese company, and they are among the biggest present, the Chinese market is clearly the main thing. And when you do films for the Chinese market, then you are dependent on the censorship. You are dependent on the audience. Well, that's one thing, that's normal. But you're also dependent on the censorship in China, on the evolution of censorship, which is linked to the political decisions which are being taken. And I discussed recently with the director who had a film he made like 5 years ago, and which is still waiting the validation by the censorship. He doesn't know what's the problem, but he still has to wait. He hopes it's going to be released this year, but who knows. And so when you have this kind of circumstances, this kind of climate, it's hard to sell projects, it's hard to invest in films. So and we can hope that things are going to get more stable this year, but with Chinese politics you never know what's going to happen. And so even if things are getting better right now, that there is hope, you never know, it can be easily broken because of some political decision at the top of the Chinese leadership. So we will see if things indeed get better in the coming month. That's it for me, so I hope you have found this short video about film art interesting, and I will see you very soon on other video.